There's nothing better than sitting around with your friends and waiting for that one moment of self-aggrandizing glory in which you hog the intellectual spotlight and hold dominion over the entire shallow, pointless conversation when you talk about some amazing, obscure bands. Did you get the Say Anything reference? From their song Admit It Is a Real Boy? No? All jokes aside, today we're going to be talking about 5 bands that flew under the radar during their time. We're also going to be talking about current bands as well, because as much fun as it is to talk about underrated or obscure bands, you know, Chicago punk rock radio was built on highlighting current artists, so you can go listen to them and go see them if you enjoy their music. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about 5 bands that deserve and deserved better. Punch was a hardcore band from 2006 to 2014. They released 2 EPs, 3 albums, all filled with intense, catchy hardcore jams, or, just so no one gets upset in the comments, power violence jams. Everything that they released was pretty highly rated, 3.9s and above on a scale of 5, of course. Some of my favorite songs are... Oh, and just by the way, I am going to play some audio clips, so it is about to get loud, so headphone users, or if you're, blasting your audio on your computer or phone right now, that's your warning. Some of my favorite songs are... Positively Godfrey is my favorite song from the band. It's just hardcore perfection, everything that makes hardcore so good. Just hardcore perfection, like I said. The band ended in 2014 when lead singer Megan O'Neill went on to form Super Unison. Other members of Punch went on to form Torso and Mutilated Tongue. Now, when I was doing my research for this video, I came across a comment that really perfectly sums up Punch. When you're listening to Punch, you're listening to 20 minutes of unfiltered rage. The Wild are my favorite folk punk band without question. I first heard them years ago on an Asian Man Records comp, and I haven't looked back. The song on that comp was Together Underground.
We are nothing more than setting suns, so let's glow glorious until the day is done, and we'll all fall back down below the land. Together underground is where we will stand.
The band's 2010 album Set Ourselves Free is a folk punk classic. Every song on the album is memorable and has stuck with me. Here are some of my favorites.
You know why it could be a scary world. There are good times and bad times, fun and fear in the unknown. Just keep with you those that love you everywhere that you go. Whoa. From these wars in this world, from these wars in our souls, we just have to believe we set ourselves free.
I wasn't a big fan of the band's follow-up, Dreams Are Maps, but I did like a song on that record. There's a darkness, but there's also a light. The Downtown Struts are such an incredible band. It blows my mind that they didn't achieve more mainstream success, as far as punk goes anyway. They're that perfect Midwestern punk sound of, the Lawrence Arms, Elway, with a hint of West Coast poppiness. For example,
Take it all, not left to give you. Times are over, it was never enough. You left behind now, yeah, and I'm not sorry now.
The band released one album in 2012, Victoria, and just like The Wild set ourselves free, this is an album that I can listen to all the way through. It is amazing. The band also released a EP back in 2011, Sail the Seas Dry, which also had some jams on it. In 2014, the band would release the Hope is Dope EP, and this was a huge shift away from the band's previous sound. It went away from that more punky sound to a more slow vibe, and I did enjoy some of the songs on that EP, but overall it just didn't stick with me as some of the earlier stuff, and it seems like this is when bands kind of wrote the Struts off. And it's a shame because a year before that, in 2013, the band released a split with Nothington that had a great song on it, Childhood.
But it's not undone, and it's not where I come from.
The band would break up in March of 2016, and some members would go on to form the band Volume. Lucky for you, most of the Downtown Struts is on Spotify. Now into two bands that I think should be way more popular. Katie Ellen is the band that formed after The Great Chumped ended. Katie Ellen takes that honest, raw, emo sound and lyrics and just turns the volume way up. I saw Katie Ellen here in Chicago when they played with Antarctico Vespucci, and they blew me away. Sure, I love the more poppy sound of Chumped, Teenage Retirement is a great record, but I'm not going to take the more darker vibe of Katie Ellen for granted, and neither should you. The band's album Cowgirl Blues is an emo classic. Light Years is a band that to me is just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's really in the wrong era of pop punk. I think they would have fit in perfectly in that golden age of pop punk in the early 2000s. You had bands like Simple Plan, Blink, and Newfound Glory in the mainstream, but you also had those less popular bands, like Homegrown, the Ataris, Phoenix TX, that were still putting out great music, but they weren't, as popular as some of the other bands I've mentioned. Here's a preview of Light Years.
Just a little smarter and could say the perfect thing to get you to stay longer, but I'm all out of tricks up my sleeve. I've been feeling a lot like the cracks in my ceiling, tired of being so defeated. I've been thinking I might be who you've been missing, but who the hell am I kidding? Outside all alone, when all you wanted was just to belong. Every misstep and broken bone, every time someone told me no, made me who I am today. Where we end up, nobody really knows. I keep running till my heart explodes, 'cause I know it's gotta get better.
Light Years just released a brand new album, Afterlife, towards the end of 2018. And it seems like the band on this album themselves are questioning, why didn't we make it, or did we miss our chance? For example, on Should Have Been, watched all my dreams all come true for someone else. Took a backseat, took a backhand, but at least I know myself. Every story has an ending, every chapter has a close. It might not be the one I want, but that's the way it goes. From Lost on the Way Home, when I sold my soul to rock and roll, I came so close. Now I'm further than I was before. The Light Years have consistently released quality pop punk. Check them out. What are some bands you think deserve more love? Let me know in the comments down below. Please like and share this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. And as always, Thanks for watching.